Hey everybody. You're kind of like curious of something about where I've been for the past 15 months, like less than 4 months ago. Alright, but what I'm about to tell you is based on timelines and the story behind those timelines. So, here we go. You probably already know this from my Facebook history that the last time I was around was around the latest of September of 2015. And that was the last time you ever saw me post anything on there. Right, so around October, early October of 2015, I decided to get out of my mom's place and move out because I realized that my brother's been trying to tell me all these months that my mom's been taking all of the SSI benefits I get. So so I kind of have to get out of there and start something fresh. So yeah, I moved out, drove to Seattle with a barely quarter of gas left, and I made it to Seattle. Kind of amazing, right? All right, so I went to Seattle, went to my brother's place, knock, and see if he's home. But it turns out that he's not, all because I forgot to tell him that I was coming. It was complicated. I got frustrated. Then I went back to my car, spent the night in my car, and I figured, huh, why don't I just go stay at my oldest brother's place? Then Then I tried to go there since he doesn't live too far nearby at Seattle. So when I tried to leave, the the car was making noise and the car was slowing down. So I had to turn back around to see if I can reach some gas in time, but I never made it, so I parked it in the middle of the highway, which is on the edge, by the way. So I turn on those bleaker things, and I spend the whole day sitting in my car and no help came. So I decided to go to town, pick up a gallon of gas in a bottle, and go back to my car. And I was asked by a policeman to see if I can get a ride, and I accepted. Then after that, when I came back to my car where it was, she was gone. Dorothy is Dorothy is gone. So after that, after losing my car, the only home I've only know in some of the times, and after knowing that nobody, or thinking that nobody needs me, I'm not welcome anywhere, I decided to take drastic measures of my own hand because I always felt like an outcast and wanted to be something I wanted to be. So I went to the airport. I I made the bomb threat, and I said to the security guard in front of the passing gate, saying that I have planted a bomb on this place and I'm going to kill everybody in this building. Then after that, with that little confusion, and after that, I got jailed for 3 days. I could have stayed there longer, but then some smart bald guy just suddenly got into my head and wondering what was my next move. So instead of staying there longer, I decided to just say screw it. So after that little talk, that turns out that anyway, they let me out of prison. They let me out of prison, and I met a Brazilian killer who he quoted himself that he used to work for ISIS. So after meeting the Brazilian killer, he kind of helped me out because at the time when I first met him, I was feeling very dehydrated from not drinking any water for the past couple of days, and he bought me some water, and he was going through with my pockets, and he was going through my pockets, and lucky for me that he didn't realize that my wallet was in my suitcase the entire time. At the time, I was kind of like a little delirious and confused during the hydration process, but after I got rehydrated, he wants me to take off my coat. He said that it will help me be dehydrated more, but after realizing for a full minute or two, he took my coat, and I was kind of like outnumbered. I was outnumbered, and I just left. I left pissed off and angry, knowing that I just let someone took my coat after helping me. I wouldn't really say that there are real monsters in this world because we're all like animals at the end. There's like a big difference between a human deer and a human predator at the same time, you know. So anyway, my brother called me, and he heard of what happened. He wants me to stay at his place for the weekend, and after spending the weekend with him, he taught me the difference between action and reaction. So after taking his advice, I find it quite useful. After that, I went back to my mom's place, but not for too long. I just came back to get my things again. Again. So after that, I went to the crisis clinic in Hoquiam. I spent one night there by giving them my bond, my weed jar, and my pocket knife, just a sign of show respect of the household and whatever. And then, after spending one night there, I was planning on going out of town just to see what I can make of myself by getting a job or so. Then I asked for my pocket knife back, but they said, stubbornly refusing to give it to me. the conversation got heated and they called the cops on me. The cops took me to the Hospital Hill, where I'm from, and I wasn't so sure what was going on at first, but I think it might be a little necessary to get my pocket knife back. After knowing what was going on, they were forcing medication on me, and I was like, no, and they were deeply insisted, and they forced a needle on me, and after that, I kind of screamed, like shout, saying, kill me, kill me, kill me, and after that, I had no idea what was going on. I was drowned with confusion, and I feel like I've been violated. So after spending at least half of the day there in that Hospital Hill, the cops took me to another hospital called Fairfax at a town called Everett. They took me to the seventh floor of the building, and it was the worst place on earth. Like, the only thing that place only has for you is where you won't go outside, no one ever visits, and the only outside of your room, it's your own very hallway. Nothing but a square around of your own tiny world. I was thinking about getting a lawyer just to see if I can get out of there sooner. But then when I try it 3 times a week, no, 3 times per day during the week, possibly 4 times a day during the week, the only answering machine that that thing has on the phone. No, what the? No, the only thing that the phone has for contact an attorney's lawyer or something was nothing but an answering machine just to hear itself talk. No messages, no voice, and it was not fun. So yeah, I've well, first they found out about the bomb threat thing I made, so it's kind of like following through the criminal record. I had like at least 2 courts at that time. Like the first time was about to see if I can at least get out or not. But then the second time was very complicated. Like, I had a bad experience with a law person once, and at first she seems quite friendly and curious to know how that bomb threat thing that I made. So I told her the story of it, and when I was having that court meeting, I realized that she was sitting on the other side of the table and speaking out against me. Like, really? She speaked out against me instead of just trying to help me. Like, I thought that's what law people's supposed to do. Like, just hear what they have to say and just, like, I don't know, fucking do their job thing instead of just earning the credit of your opponent's advantage. Anyway, like I spend I spent 83 days in that Fairfax Everett, and at those times I was so sure that I was going to break, like scream on top of my head or something. But then I had a vision saying that that I remember who I am and knowing what I want to do in the future. So I decided to use those thoughts as my willpower just to get by. So I did get by for the past 83 days at the time. And around late December of 2015, I got transferred to Western State at Lakewood. Then my hand's going numb. Alright. Ouch. Somehow this seems better. So, right, late December of 2015, the day where I went to Western State at Lakewood. Before that, I was so sure that I was going to be excited there because they said there's internet, there's outside privileges, and you can like be gone or hang out for a while. But then I realized that I was totally wrong. All my hopes have been in vain, and it wasn't fun. At the first at the first 4 or 5 months there, I was so sure that I was going to scream on top of my head at last and given them my final surrender. But then when I heard that my mom was coming to visit and wanted me to hang out with her and wanted me to hang out with her, I realized that I could use it to my advantage because I came up with an epiphany. So when I was going out on a AL, an authorized leave, we went to my brother's place and I pay him $5 and I smoke a bowl of weed just to get rid of those mental problems I sort of have for the past while when I got it from Fairfax Everett and always pasting around at Western State Hospital. I call those the mental barriers. And after smoking a bowl of weed, all those mental barriers just flown away out of my head, and I felt really better. After I got back, they noticed a little suspicion of me having pot outside of their campus. So they took my urine sample and they tested positive for THC, and my only punishment was decreasing my level benefits. You know what? It was worth it. I was only helping myself because because some fucking federal government can't even provide marijuana care for hospitalized patients. Hell, even prison. But anyway, like I'm at after having that bowl of weed and knowing that I'm going to get by, I managed to hang on a lot longer and not have to worry about a thing. I spend 10 months in Western State at those times. I could have leave there sooner by the choices of which counties I wanted to go to, but then it turns out they told me that the place that I've chosen was already full of people, and my only logical choices was going back to Grace Harbor. At the time in Western State, I told them of what I wanted to do in the future, but then they kind of don't like the idea of my ideals, and they try to talk me differently, treat me differently, and wanted to change me differently. Even worse, they want to re-educate me. I just let them talk and talk and talk, and I didn't give in. I didn't give them what they wanted, and I stand up for what I fucking believe in. And if they don't like it, then they shouldn't try to change it. 'Cause it's like saying like this, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. For one thing, a lot of people will resist you from that. Just like cigarettes. Like cigarettes kills more than it does like come naturally. And people choose to smoke it because they know it's killing them. I do like the benefits smoking, of smoking tobacco, but I don't like to do it every day. In my side of the story, I rarely smoke because I can, if it comes to like tobacco, I do it myself. But if it comes to like smoking pot or drink some R&R, I do it socially. I don't really like the idea of doing it by self anymore because at those times it was very depressing. Right, so back to the story. The next phase of the timeline was around early October of 2016. And I was going back to where all this had started. Like the place called Crisis Clinic at Hoquiam. At first, I was so sure that I was going to have a grudge on those people because they are the ones who put me up into that hospitalization and forced the medication into my own buttocks on a needle. Well, not compared to the bomb threat I made, but whatever. So when I first thought I was gonna have a grudge, I noticed that the people I I noticed that the people who work there are not really the same people at all. They're kind of like brand new people. Sure, they were nice, they were friendly, and annoyingly stubborn and harassable. And there was one thing I learned from one person, a guy named Everett, not the name of the town, but the person. So, a guy named Everett, he taught me a thing or two about charisma, and I found it pretty useful. Right, and I spent at least less than 3 months in the crisis clinic. It wasn't so bad. The only downside is that I can't hang out with friends. I can only hang out with family members, and the chicken over there was really good. I sometimes miss it though, but all gones be bygones, I guess. So after around the latest of October October of 2016, a guy named John London decided to take me in his household where I can use internet, get outside privileges, and pretty much do as I want as long as I respect the rules and do a chore a day, because I do have housemates here. Most of them are dudes, but that's kind of like a best thing to keep on channeling your sympathy, because, well, hell, you're a guy. What do you expect? We kind of like we kind of like not have much feelings, but you know us. But anyway, um, but anyway, the best part is I get internet privileges, or no, I can get to use the internet all I want, just like how I'm using this tablet right now. You know, before I left the crisis clinic, a brother of a brother of mine named Travis decided to give me his tablet because he said that doesn't interest him anymore. So so I took it as a sign of goodwill, and we kind of love each other because we treat each other like family. And I'm kind of like so grateful, even after gone for so long. He he helps me out at the end. I do like to repay him somehow in the future, of course, which I will. So yeah, uh, so yeah. After John London took me to Longview, which is down south from the Elma exit road. After staying here for less than 4 months, here I am, starting a fresh new beginning of my modern day life. I don't live with my mom anymore. I I have a place to stay, and I get food stamps and incomes. My payee pays my pays my bills. I guess you can say that I could have been more grateful of what I have than it is of what I do. So yeah, that's the entire story of how I was hospitalized for less than 15 months, and I hope you enjoyed it. And morning just rise. I stay up all night again, and I'm going to catch some Z's. So so yeah, I wish you all the best, and etc. Oh yeah, and after having the tablet and having Facebook again, I I've been re-socializing with people I know, and after being gone for so long, I told myself that maybe it's sort of time to catch up. By catching up, I mean by YouTube, Netflix, internet, which is quite entertaining. So yeah, that's all I have to say, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is the whole this has been the whole story of me being hospitalized and knowing how why I was gone, and I wish you all the best, and peace out.